Okay, I'm gonna have to drill a hole in the back and run it through the drill. It's a fake TV, by the way. It works, but for the purpose of this TV, you're down. Welcome, Conversationalist, episode 4. We're here, very classified time and date, as people's security is very in danger right now. We don't want to get assassinated. I have blackout curtain, so nobody can see us through the window.
Well, you can see him right now. Should I take the shot?
I have my guard dog.
Do it.
I'm very well trained
Ralph.
in aggression. Yeah, we're also here with our boy, first time on camera. Congratulate our boy. Look, that's our boy. He's going to be checking in from time to time. So we'll see how he does. If not, fucking fire him. Who cares? Lawson, Lubin's the only one that can fire people.
Oh, sweet, dog.
Yeah,
Get fired.
Yeah. You get Donald's ability. How we feeling? How's your week been, besides being hot as shit?
Week's been okay, man. Been a little busy, work, and just trying to get things ready for my trip coming up. That's about it. Just finalizing some other side projects. So, been pretty busy on the go. What about you, man? Tell me, fill me in. Let me hear it.
I was just telling
Give me
you
the tea.
about getting fired from my coaching job. Good thing it was volunteer. Super thankful I had the chance. Things just went different ways.
Sorry to hear that.
It is what it is. I'm happy I got the experience. But yeah, hopefully another team wants to pick me out for some coaching, volunteer. I'll do it.
How does this make you feel right now? Are you angry? Are you sad?
Without being like conceited or like dumb, it's almost convenient because when I start school in September for a couple courses, I had to make the decision of I was going to do coaching because I can't do work, coaching, the podcast, this. So it was like,
well, they freed up some of your future.
They made the choice very easy.
Yeah.
They made the choice pretty easy for me as not allowing me to make it at all.
Like as a coach, I'm just by no means like the big leagues or professional. This is a house league soccer.
Oh yeah.
But at that level, do you feel that you want to fight for that job, or is it just I'm going to take it and I'm just going to go? But with that being said, is your resume padded enough to get another team on house leagues?
I would say if you were to compare me to the average parent coach, I would be like in above average to like excellent grade level in like a parent coach level. If you're talking about career coach,
we're really talking about house league.
So if you're talking like career coach, like getting my licenses and knowing tactics and stuff like that, I'd be like a C-.
I would not play for your team.
But I have
D-.
But it's not that I don't know the game. It's just I haven't developed the ways to like deliver it in a team. Like I'm very good at teaching technique. So you want to learn how to pass, you want to learn how to shoot, you want to learn to cross the ball, and like what all of that means in terms of like the physics of the ball and how your body needs to be positioned. And if I drop my shoulder, the ball is going to go up in the air as opposed to leaning off. Like all of those things. But then when you say, okay, we're going to be playing in a 4-4-2 shape. I need the right mids to do this. I need the center mids to do this. Like I did.
Yeah.
But it's like because I haven't had as much real world experience, because I've done so much of the academy aspect of like teaching the technique, teaching those aspects. So now I'm jumping in and it's okay. I can't spend the whole time doing technical drills because I can't focus so much on that. So now I have to find new ways. And as much as I hate to admit it, like, although the drills that I thought were dumb were actually effective, I just was seeing it at an angle. You're not really teaching much technique. So what are they really learning? Why are we teaching shooting if they don't know how to shoot properly? I'm glad because I was humbled in very different ways. But I think in terms of the level of discipline that I had was like way above the expectation of everybody else as a whole.
Yeah.
I was thinking like David Goggins going into a daycare. People are like, relax, like chill.
Right.
We're just here at the house league. All the kids are trying to have fun. Everybody gets their minutes, but no one's carrying the boat. It was a good experience. I did it for 3 seasons, and I had a great time. I developed great relationship. I learned a lot about how to manage kids in like young, what is that? Early teenage phase, 13, 14. What's that? An early teenage?
What?
No, okay, so it's like a young adult, but not a young adult. I don't know. That's a very, I don't know. But it was really cool. It was cool to come back and be like, man, I shouldn't be letting all these 14-year-olds get to me so much. I
But that
should,
means it shows like how dedicated, passionate you are
right.
to the team and commitment to the kid.
I'd be getting the driver's ed break from all the other coaches of, hey, we got to slow it down. The people at work that try really hard at success, but their idea of success is completely faltered. I didn't understand letting these guys fuck around a bit more was actually more efficient in winning than drilling them.
Oh yeah, play FA.
What?
You know the game FA Cup.
No.
Okay, so you take your whole team. Every person on the team picks a partner.
Okay.
You have your keeper and net, and you only play just inside the half. So it's almost like a half court game, but it's 2-on-2. So you and your partner will play. So like me and you, but we're against everybody. And then it's elimination. So it comes down to the last team that survives. The last team eliminated, they're out, and you go again. And you keep going, and it's like a battle between those two players as a pair against everybody else. You got to run through them, or you take a shot. Like you could shoot it, and I might be able to block it and turn around. I can kick it. That counts. I'm out. Like he's the king of the castle.
Yeah.
But those two compete all the way to the end of the whole team. And I think that builds strength, determination, and a partnership. Because at the same time, it's like the next time you're going to play that, okay, you can't go with the same person you had the last. Right. You're going to try to build that chemistry between two players, and the whole team is working on that aggressiveness and defense. Or as people who've seen the movie Top Gun Maverick, it's like that football game that he plays. It's offense, defense at the same time. Boom. Think about it like that. But it's like all about getting the kids or whoever is on this team to work together as a team. But you're seeing both sides of the ball at a very quick pace.
I think the dynamics too was one, I had a lot of siblings on the team. So there were 2 brothers, there was a brother and sister, and there was another brother. And so 6 siblings overall. The dynamic of the siblings fucking with each other on and off the field was like one of these things where like, I can't not have them on the team because they're all exceptional players, etc. But I have to find a way of putting them on different shits or like having pep talks with them. Hey, this is a really important game. We need to focus. Like, I get that you want to goof around with your brother, but just for this hour, just for this 90-minute, dial it in for him.
See, but that is huge when it comes to game times. Their bond is going to be a lot stronger than just 2 rate. Yeah.
Right.
You need to find a way to separate them so that way they can learn to play with everybody else and build that chemistry and camaraderie with the other teammates. But when it comes down to a game, that's always going to be there. That's never going to be an issue.
And it's at an age too where I think they don't really find their voice at all. Like, it's one of those things where how good at communication were you when you were 13? I think I'm in a very different angle because it's a house league. So it's like, I'm looking at it of this is the best we got. So then I look and I go like, fuck man, I'm pissed off and I'm so cranky that nobody understands. But it's like where it comes back to, is this like a condescending thing or is this like a coming from an ego? But am I just not with the right team with the right skill level? And that's where I'm finding this disconnect.
And I see what you're saying, but at the time,
but then that comes off as, oh, my team's shit.
Yeah, but like and if that's how you feel, I'm not saying that's how you feel. But as a coach, if you're coaching house league in any sport, I don't think you should be saying that. You can say that to yourself or to your close circle, but I don't think it's anything you want to say out loud. Because we all know you're going to have strong opinions at that age and in a house league.
But I think it's one of those things where even the kids that are there, and they don't even want to play. But then you say, who's going to have this bold conversation and say, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? I get it. You want to spend the money. It's $270 or whatever it is for the season. Cool. Your kid gets a lot of exercise. He's fucking miserable. You know what I mean? He's out here in 30-degree weather. He never wants to go on the field. And when he's on the field, he doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing. So now here we are. And you're just like, why don't you try a different sport? Like, and it's not that you're
Well,
rude.
that depends on the age that you're at.
And again, it's
If you're 13, I think have it in the most polite way possible.
as a coach, you need to understand, oh, I have to deal with what I got because this is what I signed up for.
Sure.
If I wanted to have a team where I could start cutting people and fucking with minutes and this and that, then I should have asked to be on another team.
I think that's part of
Right.
it.
So it's sometimes you don't know when you get into it. You might think the level of skill is higher and then you get bummed out. But is that kind of just a good challenge as a coach or as just like someone dealing with people? Be like, okay, I got to adjust. Like I got to reroute. I think that's an important skill that not a lot of people want to learn of like, how well can I like handle these misdirects? Make sense?
Yeah, I think that does make sense.
Especially in like youth sport, well, like pro athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And you have like parents yelling at you who also don't know anything. And then you have to go over and be like, listen, not only is it exhausting because your kid doesn't listen to me, but you're giving him different information. And now he's not only fucking me off, but he's listening to what you're saying and fucking me off even more. My parents
Like-
usually stay quiet.
those
You know what I
fighters-
mean? My parents were never the one. And I think it came from just, this was a foreign sport to them. They were in hockey. My mom was in karate and like judo and shit. So, oh, she could fight. Oh, my mom's a baller. She got a black belt in fucking karate. Oh,
Mhm.
it's, and
Was
I,
she competing in tournament.
no, she hasn't competed. Gee, it's been a while, but she did have it. She had like, I remember forever. And my sister carried on this tradition, but I didn't. I was never like the guy in high school sports that won all the awards and shit. But like my mom, she would have a karate trophy with 10, 15 medals hanging off of it and other trophies. So you knew, oh, like my mom,
Who's ganked?
but I'm sure she was a fucking badass doing something. Like I just picture Joe Rogan just like side
He was
kicking a chick in the face. You
You
know what I mean? Just side kick knockouts, like done. And my mom, what now? Us,
That is hilarious.
LeBron stomp. Yeah, all of me. Yeah. Oh, my mom's a baller. And then my sister, like, she played like lacrosse. She played the fucking bagpipes.
Or
But still, I just in terms of level of ability to do shit, played volleyball to a pretty high level. I think to like the AA, the club team, but the premier club team. You're not pro or semi-pro or anything. You're still in an age where you go to high school, but you're playing for the top club team. And she got athletic awards and she got awards in university and she did her shit. We had her on the podcast, episode 2, Danielle McDougall, Danielle Ziesman. I forget that she's married all the time. Occupational therapist, bachelor's in kinesiology, master's in occupational therapy. Check out that episode.
yeah, I was like wondering, like,
I was
what's
like, yo, where's
the
this
sound?
from?
Sorry about that, everyone.
Ah.
Technical
We have a script that we wanted to go with, but we wanted to go through a script. We're probably not going to really go to it to much degree. We don't want to say thing that's off topic or
I like
anything like
staying
that.
on top of things.
Are
This isn't my
cor-
show. I
Not
can't just-
correct.
it-
We can fire anybody, including me.
Yo, jeez, bro. Ralph, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be the first one that's put in a booth, not in this room. If we make an audio booth outside of this room, whoever is in that booth is the new dog handler. How it's gonna work. Yeah. Get a nice, cool, and I'll buy you anyway.
like a demotion.
Yeah, we get you in a new room with the new AC, fucking cool it down for you, but the dog comes with, because he fucks around too much.
Just kick him out.
He
Who's tried firing him
well, where do you want him to go?
next door?
He can't, no, he'll freak.
You can go into the next spare bedroom studio,
Yeah.
Studio
He'd-
B,
Yeah.
and work in there.
What is it, the green room?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, he would go to the green room.
You don't have a crate.
A what? No, man, I'm
Shit, these are double-sided?
dude,
Oh, no.
dude, I did a lot of research. I couldn't handle the
all this is
whining.
wrong.
What?
All this information was wrong.
No, it's not.
Where'd you get? Onion News Network?
What?
on.
Oh, there's some links.
There's no.
There's some links in there.
No, I'm just joking. And I'm
I doubt it.
let
That's a little back.
Okay.
my thing messed with you a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know what
who
I'm.
can?
Messing with all the time.
Sniper.
There it is.
Oh, They almost got us. My ear. Where were you at when you first heard of the
At my work on my lunch, eating a ham and cheese sandwich, and I was perusing the social media, and immediately I looked up at my friend and said, Donald Trump was attempted to be assassinated, but he's alive. And then I slid on to the next slide in the Instagram feed, and they had the video, and it was quite shocking to see this was happening in broad daylight in Pennsylvania. And it was obviously a hot topic for the rest of them. Still going. Here we are, what, 3 days later?
Yeah. It happened on the 13th.
That was like Kevin Hart.
Oh, we'll get to that too. No,
Kevin Hart?
yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
Give me one of you. Whatever.
This is going to be a long thing. The Trump thing's going to be a long thing.
Yeah,
I don't
this is
want to
true.
fuck that up. Okay, so before someone attempted to assassinate you, Kevin Hart, did you get to see the show? Okay, was there snipers at the Kevin Hart concert protecting Kevin Hart?
Hell no.
Was there
Okay.
security? High security.
Okay, what
So do
kind
you
of
think
security
someone could have gotten a firearm into this show?
and
harm
assassinated Kevin
Kevin
Hart?
So if
Was
they can get
Was it
the
on
Kevin
door?
Hart, if they can get the Kevin Hart, they can get the Donald Trump.
Is Kevin Hart kind of more famous
They
than
did
Donald
get-
Trump?
I think he's way more
Yeah, way more movies, definitely.
movies.
Do you think he's fired more people?
Kevin Hart?
Home Alone star Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Home
Alone
VHS. You're fired. Oh,
Okay.
I just told you you're
Yeah.
fired.
Wait, he's in a show called The Apprentice. For real?
Oh, this type of attitude. This type of you're being sarcastic.
Dude.
Like, of course I'm being fucking sarcastic.
You guys went on today, and it was very freaking weird. Cause I'm like, yeah, I know, and you guys wouldn't stop. I don't even know what it's called. What?
Streets of Pizza.
No.
Very cool.
The one. No. So
Don't even start.
it comes up, and then somebody mentions
Bro,
we should get, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
our coworker, the one that gets away with everything, he was like, so Lubin talks about something completely different. So have you heard of these Streets of Pizza? And we were like,
How do we get from
oh,
man, this
This
is why I wanted to focus on one.
Okay, back to the Kevin Hart thing. I want to do that, then we'll get into the Trump. It's hot as balls. Okay, who was the opener? Did they have an opener?
honest? Even tell you.
Well, you should have done some homework there.
All I know is Kevin Hart was there.
Try to give me some names.
No, I don't know their name.
Pretty inebriated that.
Okay, is this the first outdoor event you've been to?
It's or-
Yeah.
Uh,
And how was it? Could you?
Would you recommend doing this again? So, how many people do you think were there at this event?
Was it like
Anyway,
five?
it was an open outdoor concert at a park,
Can smoke and drink?
Kinsman,
Whatever?
Kinsman Park in Edmonton, Alberta. You can smoke and drink, like cigarettes or weed. Doesn't matter. It was legit. You don't have to go to a smoking area.
Smoking areas,
But people, and with that being said, we went to an outdoor venue, an outdoor concert there as well years before. When we went,
yeah.
it was the same thing. We had blankets and stuff like that where you could sit down and chill. For this, it was the same idea. You could come and bring a blanket and sit down, or you could bring lawn chairs kind of
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. We brought lawn chairs or camping chairs, whatever you
Yep.
call
Yep.
them. Everybody that was on the ground on the blanket or picnic blanket, whatever it was.
Yeah. You had some big old chairs, comfortable in the
I mean,
chairs.
I was so much more comfortable.
But-
like, on the ground and
They took your phones. That's because we're recording the special.
dongle, right?
Yeah, you put it in a big bag,
They magnetized the
and then you get it back, and you have a number.
ground. That's all it was. But you got a VIP ticket. You got to chill out at like your VIP table. You still use your phone, and then once Kevin Hart was going on stage, they're like, yeah, everybody's phones need to be put away. And, if you're not, that security's going to come by and escort you out.
Oh yeah, I remember there was one at the Scotiabank Center, and I was in college at the time, and they were like recruiting people for the security company. And dude, they hired hundreds of people for Kevin Hart, and then for just 2 nights, and all of it was monitoring, like they did patrols of the steps through the whole arena when Kevin Hart played, and it was like, if we catch you on the phone, you're out. So he must have had enough experiences, or the technology advanced enough. Because I think if the technology was there, I would have probably had to lock my phone up too. But they were super strict.
Here you go. Your lineup that night was Nahum Lynn, Spank Horton, and your headliner was Kevin Hart. Hosted by Sterling Scott. Your festival musician was Leo Martinez.
You know, Martinez is good. I don't know where I remember him from, but I recognize the name.
MC dude is really well. I didn't think of my door.
And a lot of times, if you're not like filming a special or doing that, this is just from like my knowledge as a fan. You probably think when they come to certain venues, is this like the workout bit they don't know are gonna hit?
Exactly what it was.
Again, like
Off on stage, like while he was doing the reason why I took or he gave the reason they were really valid. Me being a
well, and he's like at the pinnacle of his career. It ruins the special, right? It ruins the value.
oh, if I need a quick access to whoever
That's also fair, but I don't know. Did you have your watch? Could it connect to your watch?
else just said no smart one.
What's going on here, man?
Some of them don't want these jokes to get out.
But in a state,
For that Kevin Hart provided us was because like the joke itself, he didn't want it getting back to his family before he had it.
tell them.
Crap
So-
and everything like that.
So that was one of the reasons. I
Fair.
remember the other one. It was too late in the night while I was doing that.
You were too fuzzy. No, I get
Fine.
I get the aspect of blocking away the phones. I can appreciate it. And it's one of those things where you can appreciate it for what it is. You know what I mean? You can appreciate it for fucking being good comedy, right? And then the openers are trying new bits and it might hit and might not hit, but it's enjoyable too to see people flop. Do you get the same type of intimacy you get from those smaller clubs? If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Or when you fuck up with that type of a crowd,
Yeah.
does it sting as much as like a 40-person fucking eating where like they're right there and someone's, oh, I feel, and again, like I haven't went through enough comedy shows to really give like, and I've never been on stage. I've done public speaking. There's no way that you would go up there and not be daunted by that type of criticism until you actually started working and meeting your material. And,
There's no better feeling when a joke hits you in a broad like.
you
Laugh.
It is a phenomenal feeling.
and knowing they won't.
Making people feel the emotion that you're trying to project in front of a live audience is phenomenal feeling.
But overall, it was a good experience. Would you do it again? I was looking at the Andrew Schultz one.
They didn't have any like
It's sold out now.
before
Oh, they're already done. Shane Gillis.
Friday. My friend went bought it. It was that. And they didn't have their phone plate.
I think,
But it was strictly just like for Kevin Hart.
yeah. And,
That's true because he was the only big guy that night.
but you look at Andrew Schultz and it's like,
In terms of like his podcast,
he's not as
it's just like all
Hollywood.
his stuff is just out there for
And
Kevin Hart going arena to arena. Cultivate.
yeah. And when you look at certain, Andrew Schultz has a few different podcasts. I appreciate his content. I enjoy his content. But there's a lot of things like under the table where it's like he has the special, he has everybody buy the special, and then saying like, this is the only way you're going to see it, blah, blah. I didn't want to take out certain jokes. And then people buy the special, they get so much access, all to get it aired on YouTube for free, and then him to make money. You know, you lose your credibility, right? So again, I went down rabbit holes with YouTube scammers and this and that. It was one of those things where you can see in their career trajectory or how much scrutiny is put on them. You can tell where they are at in the celebrity world. Because look at Kevin Hart and look at how many movies he's in and how many people are endorsing him and how many products he's endorsing. If he makes one wrong, look at it when he didn't know when they, what was it when they told him he couldn't host the Oscar? Like he probably took a big hit for that. Like he probably didn't get books for movies. So
It's a lot of shit in order to fucking make it all work.
yeah.
But
And yeah, it's really weird. And like, I guess the Hollywood topic is for another episode because we could talk about that for days. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we had a good time. I'm really excited. I'm going to try to go to one of those events because I'm like heavily criticizing them. Like, I think I'm going to go and I'm going to hate it. Like, I have the worst opinion and like expectation of it that I'm hoping that I'll be like extremely surprised. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I think this is just a way to generate more. I think they like some comics are like, I'm not generating enough in the small clubs, but I can't get the time slots or like different, or the Oilers are playing, so I can't play at the because I'm not big enough yet. So I can sell at MSG because it's state and everybody loves Andrew Schultz because it's from New York. But I can't come to Rogers Place, so I'll do an outdoor venue because I can get not nearly the amount, but I'm not getting 50, 60, 70 guests. I'm getting 1,000, 1,500, right? And then I say, how much of that quality of the performance and how much do they really give a shit about? Is this one more thing of I'm going to the cookout and fucking I'm going to test my bullshit. And if it doesn't land, it lands. I get paid regardless. You know what I mean? I get paid regardless. This is like me getting paid for a fucking birthday event that I really don't give a fuck about. And you guys are in Canada. And but this isn't Call Me Mothership, Texas. This isn't fucking the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles. I think they know where the fucking hot spots are. And everything after that, they're like, okay, we don't give a fuck.
Agreed.
But okay, but we're gonna go back. Watch out for the sniper. He's right there. Hello. You see him? You didn't see the dot? It was right there.
If I did see it,
They tried to kill our boy, D. Trumpese. Our boy, listen,
I'm going for the old man.
vegetables don't eat vegetables, okay?
Are you sure?
Yeah. We have some facts about
Spit him, man.
July 13th. Thomas Matthew Crooks attempted to assassinate Trump, Butler, Pennsylvania. He sustained a minor injury to his right ear. While looking at a graphic, he turned his head, and probably the best timing ever, he had a premonition. He saw that shit. He dodged that shit.
It's like the first time. It's basically when Trinity says you pretty fast. It's not fast enough.
But he probably winked at a woman after he got shit.
Probably.
He probably looked at someone's wife and went, I got you.
Hey, dude.
But fucking wild. The guy's 20 years old.
So where were you when you got the news?
Okay, so actually funny story. I was at work, working my station, working my assigned fucking area. Co-worker, which you guys know who's Jewish. We had him, Faber, who came on the podcast. He's Jewish. His dad's Jewish. I just got a text from my dad that I should go check the news. And right away, this wasn't like being rude or anything. I was like, oh, something's going on in Israel. Because I was like, he's Jewish because his dad's Jewish. He said his dad's like heavily political, heavily religious. So then he's, yeah, my dad just told me to check the news. And I was like, oh, what's going on in fucking Gaza? Like, what the fuck's going on? And then I go back and I check my news because I'm like, I wonder if it's not anything about Israel, which I was surprised.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They tried to kill our boy,
Your boy.
my boy.
Yeah.
And I'm the only U.S. citizen here, right?
That's why he's more your boy than anything else.
Yeah, I'm a dual citizen. My dad was born in Connecticut. When my sister applied,
You didn't know?
so when my sister applied for
Arthur
citizenship,
Whaler.
I just got her to do all the same shit for me, and I just changed my name. And then we wrote in together, and they said, raise your right hand. I raised my left hand. I was like,
The more you know, right?
yeah, but my passport actually expired.
The topic for another.
Hey, if you want to tell me how many things I procrastinated about because I'm like, dude, the amount of daunting paperwork and I got to go get photos done. And then I just call my sister and I'm like, hey, you renewing your passport? And I just looked to see what happens, but I didn't do that.
Would you say that this assassination attempt on Trump play with Europe in World Trade Center?
No. Well,
Of course, dude,
people are
dude, but you,
people are saying that
it's fine.
this is bigger than 9/11.
No,
Because if so,
that is great. But you have to take into consideration that was
2001.
okay. That was 23 years ago. Imagine the difference in communicate. So if I lived in Israel and 9/11 happened, how long would it take me to find out? Or if I was in France or Germany or Russia.
Remember where you were when you
I remember my dad telling me stories that he crossed the border 2 or 3 hours before it happened. He heard on the radio through I think he was through Maine. So he was coming through Maine and he said he stopped in like Moncton or Quebec or wherever. I don't know exactly where he did, but he said the first gas station he stopped at had a marathon. I saw it. It was like a plaque, and it was the New York Marathon, and it had the World Trade Center on it, the two buildings, and he just bought it because this was just an act of fate that this random gas station had this random like graph. It was like the whole graph of all the routes for the New York Marathon, and in the middle had the World Trade Center. So he was like, I'm just buying it as this is fucking cool.
You're right.
What are the chances this is actually lined up? So yeah, it was, but no idea.
I recall.
Outdoor education.
I was got out of the shower, I was on my way to work. My brother, I was in the room, like he was as I got out of the shower, he was in my parents' bedroom watching the TV in there. And then I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, your room is elsewhere. Why aren't you over there? He's like, dude, World Trade Center's gonna buy a plane. I was like, pardon? Because for me, my family, we have family in New York City. Used to drive to New York every year for Easter. My mom, my dad, my brother, and myself. I'm not his family, friends, whatever. So New York was like second home for us. And when it happened, it was shocking. And then I got out of the shower in time, and I'm getting dressed, and then I got to watch the second plane hit and watch the tower fall. I'm like, this is insane. And I had to go to work after that. And it was just, when I got to work, I worked at a bank, and in the bank, they had pulled out a TV. We had a TV in the lunchroom. They pulled it out to show what was going on. This is an all day, and it was like a very weird, somber day.
And it's so weird that something like that is like a viewing spectacle, especially when you get to the range of kids.
But that's where we were at the time.
I
It's
know.
like everyone was living on their phone.
So that's the only way you had access to information, radio or cable television.
But I remember driving to work, and on the drive, which was like a 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive, that's all was on the radio. I think music, but it was mostly, and now the second tower has fallen, and the traffic is covered in smoke. The fire department, it's just like, what is going on in New York City right now?
Yeah.
It is something that species we've never experienced, unless you're around for World War I and World War II, or
Right.
all
But like in our age group,
the
this was
biggest thing.
I think 9/11 was like the biggest thing right now between the people ages like 20 to 40.
Yes, 100%.
You know what I mean? Because you just look at, they took pictures of the Halifax, Stanley Airport, whatever it is, and like the amount of airplanes and shit that they had to have as like canceled flights, and this and that, all the flights that were going through JFK and shit.
Yeah.
Like they said like hundreds of people, and like people were almost, what do they call it when you take on like an athlete from a different country? Like
Sponsor, billeted.
but like people were doing that for people that were stranded in airports.
So the whole world, okay, it was coming together. You need help.
They didn't even do that during COVID.
They
They
didn't get
didn't-
the social distance.
And I guess you couldn't go to someone.
They couldn't do it
Well-
unless you got the shot.
WestJet, they just,
Sorry.
sorry, we canceled your flight.
Dude.
So
And then they just go, hey, here you go. And we don't know if we put your luggage on the plane. We may have. So it may be here. It may be there. We don't know where the fuck's it at.
that was
$60
that was a
coupon.
huge thing that happened back in 2001.
But we didn't have TikTok. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Facebook where it had the short form content capability. Like what Facebook came out in 2004, 2008.
Someone,
Well, we could look
I
at
don't know,
it.
the information that we received about Thomas Crooks was instantaneous. It's like everyone was questioning, who is this? Who was this person?
Apparently they have his phone. Yeah.
Donald Trump. And then it was within 3 hours tops. And we had the information as to who this person was. They were obviously deceased at this moment.
Oh, they got shot right between the eyes.
All we cared about immediately was, is Trump alive and is he okay? No one
And-
really cared at the moment of when it was happening. When we
Bro,
finally,
Sure, what the?
No,
I mean?
and two.
so and that's the other thing. So we were talking about Trump getting hurt. We're asking anyone else get hurt. You know what I mean?
But you look at it and you say, naturally, even the people that were there and saw this happen, they only gave a shit about Trump to a degree, right? Because it's like
Well,
in your head, the only reason you're there
is
is for Trump. You have to understand the mentality of it. Of okay, the people watching are watching for Trump. Like they legit has something to do with the outcome of their country.
Well,
So then when they hear the fallout of someone died and this and that, it's tragic. And But I think people's psyche is how many of them are crying, as opposed to if Trump died, you would have people like picketing, rallying, like it would go
Like,
crazy.
right.
It would go crazy.
If he would have died,
Right. And it would, and it, you have to give like the, what is it? Not consolidate, like your condolence. You have to give like your condolences to someone and say, I'm very sorry that your family's going through this. And he was a firefighter. Apparently he jumped on his family and that's why he shielded his daughter and that's why he got shot. This was the Trump crowd. So you look at that and you say, wow, takes a lot of balls. And
I think that's just the dad being a dad.
right. And I think that's not saying it's very heroic, but it's also probably very instinctual. So going through, this guy shot what is believed to be 8 shots. I believe it was 8 shots. They say it's from an AR. They say it's from an AR 5.56. So it's really interesting. So I don't know what your guys' opinions are of Tim Kennedy, but I watched a Chris Williamson interview. They just did an emergency interview with Tim Kennedy just to talk about specifically the Trump attempted assassination. And what was very interesting, and it was almost like, oh, you're just trying to plug yourself because you're on private military. But for the next 4 months, Trump's going to have to hire a private military to stay alive. And you're like, are you just plugging yourself or is this actually true? And can you do that? If I have Secret Service, can I also hire is it more the merrier? Is it like, are
Well,
you interfering
First off,
with what
he's a former president, so he does still get
he does?
for the remainder of his existence, but also at the same time,
But it's so like when you look at
it's a minimal detail.
yeah, it's like to compare to Biden and then compare to Trump. Either of them wanted to have like professional armed security that's contract.
But
was that be against like a policy?
I am not a world leader, especially in the new world. So therefore, I have no idea.
Couldn't tell.
I think you could ask possibly. I think like, at the same time, again, I don't know for sure. I'm speculating. I assume if you're only getting a minimal detailed security and now threat upon your life is now becoming a higher risk. I don't know if they're going to give you more detail from the Secret Service, or at this point, are you allowed to just X the Secret Service and just say,
I think no matter what, I think that's the thing of like transparency with ex-presidents and like with a government and a democracy.
there are ex-presidents out there who wish to talk to us and explain what it would be like to have service.
Come on over.
Explain. We'd love to hear more about it. It'd be great.
Lightly sloped roofs are going to get a little bit more.
Yeah. What was one thing Tim Kennedy said was how much actual like theater, as in combat, did some of these people have? Like, how much did they spend prepping and they don't have that? Then when shit really hits the fan, have they ever actually dealt in moments when shit hit the fan and they're like, oh, well,
I think, yeah, that's what I'll say. I will
train them for anything.
You can say that about any military existence, any military unit or youth. They can practice and run through scenarios so you're blue in the face, but you might actually never see combat. You might actually never run out and be in serious danger or see live fire. It doesn't happen. Especially, and I'm saying this, let's think back. As someone who's a world leader before Trump right now, who was the last world leader or president of the United States or former president who was assassination attempt was on their left?
It was Bush.
And then
it was that.
And then it was JFK, wasn't it?
No, before that it was
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan did get shot, and he survived.
But what's interesting, though, is that people think, oh, they shot Trump because they hate Trump. But there's been 10 president assassinations. 60% were Republican, 40% were Democrat. So it's not like they hated one or which party.
I think it depends specifically on the person.
And I think, too, people,
and their policies and things that they...
How many people, if they had the access, addicted to fucking meth or like severely like in this mental fucking tornado are, thank God we have a little bit stricter access to weapons.
I don't know if you've heard about it. Peel police, like this is in Ontario, they caught 10 people who were arms dealers and they confiscated a very large number of firearms and weapons. I can get you the exact number. Just give me 1 second. I don't want to misquote it.
But does that come from Detroit? Does that come a lot from Detroit?
Who knows? But these are the people who are in Canada caught with these weapons. No.
Even I remember, what was it, like 7 or 8 months ago, they were doing like a general traffic stop, or they were stopping to get probably fucking coffee or something, and saw people loading weapons into a trunk. And then they ended up arresting one of the car, going into a building. This was in the South End, and in Edmonton, South End. And then they stopped, they seized the car, and they were like, fucking, they said the trunk was full of weapons. Like full of like shotguns, pistols, automatic rifles.
So here it says Peel Police announced the largest ever illegal gun seizure on Wednesday, with 10 people facing charges and the recovery of 71 firearms, including assault.
Dude.
So it's like, I don't know where they're coming from. They could be coming from the state, or they could be coming from Eastern Canada. They could be coming from anywhere.
What is your honest opinion when it comes to, okay, take aside your family. You're not with your family, you're not with a loved one, but you're in the mall, and within your vicinity, there's like an active shooter. Do you think? I think he's just like coming in Rambo style, blast.
The Terminator, when he comes in with the box of flowers and opens the box, and it's just a fucking
Yeah,
gun.
this is like a 15-year-old with very severe mental health on Valentine's Day that got cheated on, is going to a mall to kill everyone. So when you look at it in that case, are you the person, because I know I'm not, like, I know I'm pretty brave in certain situations, but I'm guaranteed like doing anything I can to not have an interaction. Like, I'm not a superhero. Like, I'm not trying to be, but okay. But it would be different if I was with my sister and niece and nephew, because then it would be like, what's the legacy you're leaving? If you're going to die anyway, are you going to die saving someone? I'd rather die knowing I saved someone.
Or helps.
But if I'm by myself, it's about me, bit. If I'm by myself, I think I'm on. Yeah, I just think that with some people look around and they go like, I'm taking this guy out for the fucking mall. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, there's a real situation that happened with somebody.
Or when they have active shooter within the last.
But so there was that shooting in Vegas at the concert, the outdoor venue. There's an actual story of somebody throwing himself in front of a woman. Yeah. And then in the end, they ended up, following 11, this magical story.
Yeah, I think. I don't think many people are thinking that. I think the amount of people that piss their pants during the active
That's what I'm saying.
Is probably statistically
Oh,
way hot. Like now, like I'm not that wait. Be like, I'm gonna dominate on you, man. I'm pissing my pants. If anything, I'm defecating. Okay, fucking
Braidman.
yeah, that's dude. Three.
But my point is, do I honestly think that this guy in this situation was attempting to, oh my God, let me help you. He fell and help you up. He's probably, maybe he bumped it or knocked it down, felt terrible, and then got up. I don't know. Who is to say? In that situation, if it was just myself, and I don't know anybody else at this place, I'm at the mall that you said walking through, it's about me. I'm getting it.
Okay.
Maybe back.
What if this was something a little bit like, what if it wasn't involving so much of a lethal weapon? Is that something you think that would change the parameters? Say if you saw, and this is very like asinine, but say if you saw like a chick getting attacked by a golf club, would you be,
Oh, I'm down.
okay,
I'm down.
so then it's like a level of reasonability of what you're capable of. So it's like a good sense, what you think, like you're rolling the dice and going,
I don't know anybody that could look down the barrel of a gun and be like,
oh, I'd be fucking, sir. I think you'd be surprised. I think you would be surprised how many people go, or just go, I'm going to get him to look at something, and then I'm going to go, knowing that his hand already like moving the trigger. And as soon as he, if you're a convenience store bag, I think people do a lot of bagging. So please, I have a family, I have kids, I have a wife, blah, blah, blah. My wife is pregnant, whatever it is. The thing is, I think that's more of like some method which people go to. And then I think other people are like,
I was going to say something that is really,
well,
you got to make that count. If you are going to attempt to alleviate the situation or interject yourself in the situation, you have to make your shot.
yeah.
You do not. The whole thing is for nothing. So I'm saying, yeah, one shot, you one off the plate.
Like, am I going to waste? Yeah, am I going to waste it all? Am I going to waste?
That's what I was saying. 100%. 100%. Right. That being said, I'm glad in the end of all this, that Donald Trump's okay. It was just minor injuries, but still a major situation that something like this was able to happen. I don't know how the mayor of Pennsylvania feels or the
Yeah, he's
mayor
probably
of
pissed.
Butler. What's like, how does that looks terrible on you and your state? No offense. But let's think about it right now.
But
Let's see
then
now.
he
Here's
too-
the other thing you gotta look.
There wasn't even like a ladder that he brought there.
No.
That ladder was already on,
Okay.
and it was behind the policing staging area.
But
You look at you're like,
here's the other thing you got to look at now. Now, we were talking about Secret Service. Now, we also know that there's FBI branches in different states.
yeah.
So, the Secret Service and the FBI are the two coordinating agencies.
And then local on.
Look at it. Yeah, that's fine. But all I'm saying is Donald Trump, his Secret Service detail, are they Secret Service detail that he travels with all the time?
No,
Or is this
they're deep.
given to him by the state when he arrives for what?
Well, because how many other candidates, how many other former presidents?
They are, but you're sure about it. So I'm saying, he's a former.
You got to be an employee along. Well, if he gets casual employees,
He might.
he
Now,
might get the wage too high.
For any further vice presidents, please come forward and plan. But that means I don't know. You could be right. Vice, no.
So when you look at it,
I think maybe president gets his own personal detail that he handpicked himself.
he's picking two
Once you become a
fucking
vice
5'7"
president, thing, because now you are not the world leader. You're not the one. You might just get a designated team when you're at home.
I think
in
you
your
expect
state
this
or your
guy
residency.
is
You
getting
might have
way more than he's
going and traveling to different rallies or places. You might get one that you get when you arrive.
This guy's getting a shift
Yeah, but it'll be your team whenever you go to said state.
thing.
It's a different country altogether. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm working my old gig.
Yeah.
Why? Secret
Once
Service
I'm-
song.
I'm with the United States for Service Agency, blah, blah, blah. Here's my card.
Yep.
I need to know everything about the bill.
When Obama came to Halifax.
There was another group that was with Hillary. And I was telling you that introduced himself to me for them, but he's still with us for sure.
So there are Canadian agents who are in
They're
favor.
close to present for history, like group with Hillary. They didn't even serve the president.
Yeah. But see, that's another question. She might get your service because she was married to a former president.
Why is she? Wait, you don't want
But do you think it's not dudes that are on holiday that could call them, hey, you want this sweet gig? Hillary Clinton's doing a fucking
You were told you're going.
right, but I think
She-
it's enough time where they tell you like
So, for example, I know a guy. Well, I met a guy when I was home senators. Was in the Canadian government. So now that he's designated to one specifically all the time, it'll be, hey, this senator is going. You're on that detail. Go. And then he'd go wherever he has to go for the 2 weeks. Come back, and then it'll be like he'll be here for a month and be like, hey, this senator is going on this one. You're going on that.
think you can handle that type of
If I
pick up and go.
like for you as married with 2 kids, you probably could. Yeah.
Well, this guy who does it is married with 2 kids.
I imagine as the division, your watch lights up and you're like, I gotta go, I can't tell you why. See you later. And they're like, you're like in the mall doing Santa photos.
Like,
Like
are
your
you-
fucking phone go off.
I'm fucking man. Oh man, just
The division, man.
okay.
Go to
But you're on
fucking
call.
yeah, and then you just look at your wife, you give her like a little nod.
That's pretty
I'm
much
going to
what,
shoot some fucking aliens. Antarctica dealing with police.
situation. He is close protection. So the RCMP in this case, when they're doing senator close protection duty, it's just the RCMP who do the prime minister duty here as well. So I think again for the prime minister, sure, you are designated anything that she wanted to do, he would have to do it. Now, with the senators and stuff like that, like this RCMP officer as well, he was just selected to go, not a prime minister, the leader of the country, not a former leader of the country, but still designated up and not the same person. all the time. That's what might not be the same person every single time for former President Donald Trump.
He probably has one team lead. And that guy's probably like the team lead. And he's probably like the guy that actually talks to Trump. Everybody else shuts the fuck up, does their job.
I would
You
assume
know what
so.
I mean?
Yeah, I think there'd be
And
one
basically
person.
it's like that guy's the one of, hey, the sniper's different today, or we had fucking Judy, she was with us in fucking Bosnia, da, 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 whatever. And then it's like everything has a little bit of chain of command. But speaking of chain of command, I think we should move on.
That was a flex. I think that was a
No,
flex.
no, I think this is probably going to be a long one. So one question, what I want to ask is, do you believe in the idea that this guy who ended up having a line sight on the guy, he stated that he had eyesight on
sniper?
him for, the sniper for 3 minutes, but he was given a direct order not to shoot. Do you think there's any fact in that? Does that sound realistic? Does that sound like it
Okay.
could happen?
I don't want to really take a stab at this one because this one to me is,
Tinfoil hat.
yeah.
Because there's
Also,
no
I wasn't there. I was in the situation and see what he saw. But there's another video that we were watching right after this had happened. And somebody is saying that after you hear the first shot go off, the snipers that are there, one sniper ducks down.
They
And as a
flinch.
sniper, don't think you're supposed to be doing that. And especially if you're the protection detail that you're working or whatever you're doing, obviously. But again, I'm not one of these guys. I don't know. I was never a military dude. Who's to say? But my point is, I don't know. I'm not in that moment. I'm not there. Now, let's say hypothetically that is the case, that he is told not to fire, would you shoot anyways if you think what you saw is a threat?
I don't know. How much do you value your job? How much do you value
It's life or death.
Or do you trust them?
I don't
Do you agree with me?
So you don't ever shoot not be a shoot to kill.
But from what I heard,
You're that good. It doesn't happen.
but this is what I also heard is when it comes to the snipers and it comes to seeing a weapon in like an active shooter, whatever they determine, it's the executive decision of the sniper of whether or not decides to shoot or don't shoot, right? So the fact that they say he was given a direct order to not shoot, even if that was the case, I think through the wash,
I know this is not
That-
a movie.
I think through the wash, that would get funneled out of, okay, we get that you told him not to, but you're fucking wrong. So we're going to just like brush this to the side. Like, even though you told this guy a direct order, he still had the decision. So even though it's going to be turmoil at the very start, once we do the fucking SISM and like the after action report and all this bullshit, people are going to be like, no, you made the right decision. No, you're good.
And ask for forgiveness, as they say. And it is to ask for permission.
100%.
But like I said, it doesn't have to be a kill shot. You can shoot the guy in the shoulder. You can shoot him anywhere else.
Like, yo, if you're gonna be protecting somebody of like
Of this high importance.
not to mention a presidential candidate, like you're not playing game. Not, hey man, can I take this shot? This guy looks sketchy. We're here to report
Well, that gets me to the
firearm. Not a room.
right. And that gets me to the idea to what are your thoughts of like the performance? Now, again, it's very hard to like armchair quarterback this because none of us have been in the Secret Service. None of us provided security detail.
Did you?
No, like
somebody?
myself like 3 lives ago.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I was Secret Service.
Yeah.
So that's why I know everything.
That's
Okay.
okay. Except
But besides
the
that,
reporter.
my third, fourth reincarnated self, whatever decides to tell me, they've given me all this wisdom knowledge to let you know that what I like. Okay, you look at the Secret Service detail and you say, okay, if I look at the description of the job, which is like you're essentially there as like a bullet sponge for the predator.
maybe we should.
The ones in the suit and the ones with the cool fucking
Sunglasses.
yeah. Apparently, their job is like to jump on bomb. And you look and you say, like, it doesn't matter, female, woman, male, because even when they tackle them, there was not just female, there was 3, 4 people saying, are we clear? What are we doing? Where are we at? Should we pick them up? Are we clear? You know, almost seems like they panic.
That's just human nature. And like in the end, they got the job.
This come down to level of actual theater, right? Like where, okay, you deal with certain situations and it's in practice, in scenario, in theory, there's a right and wrong way to do things. But then you say when shit doesn't go right and you have to redirect and you have to do certain shit and you have to do something that may be in gray area, you think, okay. Or when you look at the occupation that we know people to be in as like, how much can you put aside the ego and let the team lead be the team lead? right? Where it's like, how many of these people just got like egos as big as this fucking room?
Where a lot of the conspiracy stems from is to the naked eye.
Do you not think there's
People that are not.
Do you not think there's people in the fucking Secret Service that have like political riding?
I realize I have the power of the world at my fingertips.
Crazy how that works.
So it's the responsibility of the Secret Service to protect foreign presidents at all times, meaning they will oversee and directly coordinate all levels of security for whatever they do or go. But the level of security is all based on whatever the Secret Service, through its intelligence and coordination capability, determine is appropriate for the protection of certain individuals. But also, there's one other thing, if I may, quickly. Donald Trump's Secret Service is higher number.
What?
You know, it's higher than it would be for any other former president because it is due to his court cases that were going.
Oh, the felon.
Felony charges. So
Right.
for all that was going on, it protected his house, as well as when he was going to court every day. So it was a larger security detail than it would normally.
Wouldn't it? That's probably a pretty fucking gravy gig. Like when Donald Trump's just doing Donald
I
Trump
think
shit.
it depends on who it is.
Apparently, the day
Like
after he got
Obama.
shot,
Yeah, I believe.
and
Like the more current like president, going on Obama and Trump, Biden, like they're more out.
it depends on how media facing you are.
He didn't really do a lot. Biden was
But again, you look at that was just the start of that access to information era, where it was like the being verified and like having like influencer status and all that shit of like you would look for people on the internet was like just the beginning. I think either way would be a hard job. I think the level of degree of getting fired is probably like super high where it's like, hey, if something happens and like shit gets fucked up or someone gets sneak in, you're fired. It's like
Well,
you're
I
on
mean,
a
there's-
desk now.
it's-
You're playing fucking Spec Ops now. Like you're just wiretapping
ever watched
phones,
the 90s?
buddy. Yeah.
But it's not a job that I think it's a very stressful job when it's game on, when it's time to go. But I think a lot of the time it's a lot of downtime.
I'm just looking at some things and I say,
Oh,
how much do stuff like this start to develop? Do you think this is going to have, you talk about it being as notable as 9/11. Do you think this is going to carry the same amount of
oh, is it?
conspiracy theories?
1000%.
We better talk about it already.
Take the shot.
How did the gun get? How did this is an AR that he had?
And apparently it was a very easy shot.
Apparently.
Apparently people are like,
It was
apparently
a warm day.
guys like Tim
wasn't that much of
Kennedy
a breeze.
says my 9-year-old, this is a direct quote with Tim Kennedy, and he explains how simple the rooftop shot was, comparing it to common hunting scenarios. My 9-year-old can do 10 out of 10. He set up the deer feeders about 150 yards away. Every single one of them would be able to make that shot.
So because he turned his head at that exact moment,
To look at a graphic on the screen.
I don't know.
Okay.
Or it was
So let's get into that. If it could be fake, now we're talking about AI generated,
No,
if
people were there. I
I don't know.
died. It's legit.
and that, but were they there? Were they really there, Ryan? I don't know, man.
I don't
Like,
know.
you think if people are gonna, this is what I mean. The conspiracy theories are gonna come out there. They're gonna be high volume. They're gonna be very outlandish. They're gonna say this, that, and the other. I personally don't think that it's fake, but yeah, I think he got injured for sure. I don't think it's a dummy. I think it was actually Donald Trump.
Do you want to know the quote that he said when he sunk a par the next day?
Please enlighten us.
He goes, he sinks like a 21-foot putt, and he looks at his partner and he goes, I can make that shot.
I went.
He said, I can make that shot.
We got jokes.
Okay, are we done with Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay,
Seriously?
we're good though.
how we could do.
We good. What
Yeah, he's got things to do.
do you got to do?
Go eat
Oh,
food with my family, girl.
it's really interesting because first question is the reaction that you got when I sent you this video about the next topic that we're talking about.
You're gonna play this for me.
I don't know, the video that I sent to you on it.
The sketch. Yeah, 100%.
That was like,
That's all.
but in my head, want to know what I thought?
What's that?
That's like just scratching the surface.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So then I say, how drastically different is your algorithm just like cars motorcycles,
Music. Use
some
YouTube for music.
music.
Some nerd shit. Maybe. What? What
No, because I look at it and go, oh, I thought everybody was just seeing the same shit. A
Okay.
couple million.
First and
But then
foremost,
you 5 videos and they got a couple million. And you got 5 different videos and they go, and I'm like, these people are posting video.
okay, but first and foremost, like I'm not a Twitch person. I don't care. You were a Twitch guy. A Twitch.
Yes, and
I played video games. I did my own shit, and that was that.
so
I
the
played on my own
algorithm
friend.
fucking bends.
I really don't watch.
You
I don't
think
know
this-
about Twitch people at all. I know if they do.
Do you know the channel IGN?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. All right, so I'm not far off. All right, we're getting somewhere. At least we had like some similarities, so I don't think like I'm a fucking sociopath, right?
I watched the
Okay, what do you think about a dude that blows up? Did you read the fact that his family's worth 20
I
million?
watched the video that
Okay, when you look at a guy that pops this fast, and then you look and say this guy got fucking plugged for gay porn, do you think this would be the common practice of an industry plant? He got very famous. He collected a bunch of notoriety. He announced the pick of the NFL draft. He's with all these different people. Made a
I
slogan.
think this is his way of coming out to the world.
No, I thought this was his way of like removing the industry plant. It's like you find a fucking conspiracy or you find something wrong with them that you think the public is going to like completely disdain. Then they did it, and then everybody reacted
Okay,
positively, and then it's, oh, fuck, now what do we
people
do?
did not react positively.
I think a majority of people did.
Knew him best reacted positively. All that out of it. That's not what's important.
Okay, what's important?
What is important here is that he has now come out as being homosexual.
Homosexual.
You understand that? The biggest thing that his sexuality has come out not the way he wanted it. It was being leaked by someone else who looked him up and posted OnlyFans business coming out.
Yeah.
And when that came out, what was the one thing that he said? He's like, I was trying to keep it buried. And now that it's out, like, I almost thought that this came out, I was going to off myself. So I think the biggest thing here is that the fact of the matter is people coming out and telling the public or telling their friends that what they are is not easy for every single person. So the way that it comes out, not exactly how he wanted it to come out. I think
No.
that is the biggest thing first and foremost.
But what would you say about his ability to handle it? And then not only he'd make it a ragging joke for his, I did not have sexual relations with that man.
It's Bill.
Bill Clinton, whatever. I did not have sexual relations with that man. And then he's like, maybe I did. Just kidding. Hey, dude, within 4 minutes, he had 77,000 live viewers, man. That shows an extreme amount of
Oh,
dude,
is
this guy has 1.1.
Is his support? Is it people wanting to hear what he has to say?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think anything.
You think every single person that went to Donald Trump's rally for support or just to hear what he had to say?
Support.
But a lot
So
of people,
that's
how
what I'm
many
saying.
people there did clickbait? How many people?
Did his followers increase after this all came out, or did it?
Oh yeah,
did
he
it
actually.
fluctuate up and down?
No, he actually did stay relatively. Even people that came out like Nico and other like alpha or right wing leaning, because they said this is almost like a betrayal of him. They said like the fact that he never disclosed this to his community and now he's getting a level of influencer where like, is it actually authentic? He's like, I get that people want to praise this guy and that's fine, but you can't use the word authentic.
I think
Because authentic,
you were saying authentic and genuine.
but I think authentic is closely attributed to transparent.
Yes.
So,
I
but,
think that's the biggest thing
but-
why some people are upset.
but the thing is though, it's not the fact that he was questioned about it and denied it. It just never came up. It's the fact that like this guy was trying to unintentionally hide. And he still knew that if it came to light, he would have to do something about it, whether that be off himself, like he did now. So it's very interesting because you say, if this was someone who was like a professional NFL player, I know other NFL players just came out as gay or bisexual, but would this be the same type of reaction, or would the amount of shame increase, or would the like?
The only thing I would think is it's down to community.
And it just goes to once you reach like, once you like,
or what I mean, I don't know.
once you reach that type of influential status,
But I think we're looking at this whole thing the fucking wrong way. That's why I'm saying people are fucking idiots. Is because people who were his friends are saying he wasn't genuine, he wasn't being truthful, but it's because he didn't tell you that he's gay.
but
like I said,
he never
like,
owed it.
But at the same time, if he's your friend and you don't care, so then what's the big deal? But then other people are saying, I have kids and I know you, I'm hanging out with you. I think what you're doing is false because you should have told us. But at the same time, it's like, I have kids and stuff like that, and I don't let them follow you because of what you've done. Where it's sure, just don't let them see the OnlyFans. I don't know what the big deal is. Yeah, that stuff is not on his Twitch.
Dude,
it's on his Only.
Same if you have a fucking daughter. She turns fucking 19. She starts an OnlyFans. She moves into some fucking OnlyFans house, and she's making crazy amounts of money. It's okay.
I see what you're saying.
As long as people are bringing it to my attention,
But
then I have this naive approach of what's going on, but not even with him, because it's like, hey, I think that's very respectable. Come on live, make it satire. Not only are you addressing the big thing, this is a big life event for you, especially with the following you have. It's not only being able to be like, hey, I'm gonna take this as like a fucking hit on the chin, and I'm gonna have fun with it. And this is it.
that's the other thing that people were saying too about him. Like a lot of his followers thought that he had Tourette's or autism. But
And
he
they
said
almost
that
say he's making a mockery.
he doesn't have it. Multiple interviews that he does not have it. He has an anxious twitch, which to me sounds like.
But then people say, is this guy almost leaning into that character in
Because
effort to
that's,
like
I guess,
make a mockery or drive more content or drive more people? But then you say, people are fucking weird, man. Like, I know a lot of weird fucking people that I'd be like, if I didn't know this guy,
on the spectrum.
well, whatever, right? But I think we still have a lot of things that we can cover in next week's episode,
But will it still be relevant?
but special
Stay
news,
tuned. Sorry,
unless he cancels on me tomorrow. I
want to dive more into this.
We will definitely
next
dive
time,
into this
because he's got my interest. He might have a new follower after this. I don't know. Not the only.
But we have a special guest that we're coming up with this week. Very excited to interview. You'll find out when it comes out.
Why are you telling people about it now?
But to be excited because I haven't done one.
Excited for somebody that you don't know, but they're coming.
Judo, all of our best friends. All right. Cheers. Thank you for coming out to Conversationalist, episode 4.
Comment.
Let us know what you think about our very uneducated opinion on the sketch, the fucking shooters, whatever it is. Thank you very much for coming out. Show some support. We love you so much. Dang gang.